Alright guys, let's do a small creek update. Footage wise, I really didn't get much footage because of where they're at. This is more of what happens almost every time I try to film something that they're doing. So I get down there and I went to the first spot. They weren't really doing anything. So, okay, I'm going to go down the road to the second spot. This would be their second containment dam. Well, I should preface with this. Last Wednesday, we had a meeting with down at the creek. Even Ian Vogel was down there to grace her with my presence. They wanted to show me the updated containment system they have, so we don't have another Rainbow Creek incident like we had on that one Monday. So I'm fine. You know, I'm all for conversation. I'll have a conversation with anybody. You know, we go down there, we had a representative from Norfolk Southern, and we had a representative from the EPA show us basically what I showed in my video the day before. I also need to change the name of that video too, because that day was just a trial run to make sure everything worked. They really wasn't working that day. So I want to make that clear too. I try to keep stuff clear, you know, as clear as I can. They informed me that was just a mock-up day, just to see if, you know, everything would work how it's supposed to. But anyways, we get back to the meeting. You know, they go through. You know, this is our main containment, and we have two more down the creek to, you know, keep this from happening again. So if something happens to get past the first one, you have a second and a third one, which, you know, is great. You know, like I said in my one video, this is what I expected to see the first Monday I went down, was at least a vac truck. And obviously there wasn't, and I caused them major headaches with that video that came out. But we were down there talking. Some things were said I don't agree with. You know, but I'm not down there to cause confrontation. I remember Norfolk Southern rep asked me to, you know, give them a break, give them more positive, you know, videos and stuff. That's kind of hard to do. I just think it was a good reach out that you had somebody from Norfolk Southern, from somebody from the EPA, and they were willing to call somebody down that really critiques their work and picks out all the bad stuff. You know, I think if this would have happened during the cleanup phase, not just take people down there that are on your side, you know, take people down there that are somewhat against you, I think it would have helped your PR a little bit more. But maybe that wasn't done because there's stuff that you didn't want seen. I don't know. I wasn't down there, so you know, the meeting went good. Quick meeting. They just showed us the stuff, you know, and you know, we left. You know, I just enjoyed I just appreciated the reach out by both companies to kind of come on, you know, even ground, and you know, show me that they made changes, so this wasn't supposed to happen again. Okay. well, in with that. Like I said, some of the stuff said, but I didn't agree with, but I brought it up, and it wasn't creek related, so it really wasn't, pertinent to why we were down there. So I chose not to dispute it. It's because I just don't want confrontation. It's just, I appreciated them both showing up down there and willing to give somebody a tour of the improvements that they made. Well, it's a whole different story now. Went down there today, went to the one area, they weren't working. So I went down to the next area, which is the area you see in the photo right here. This would be their secondary containment. I am on private property. I'm not in their work zone. Guess who gets called down? Security. They call security down because they stopped working when I got down there, okay? Which it seems very odd to me, because if you're doing something right, why would you stop working when a camera shows up? It just, I can't comprehend that. But I don't know if it's a company policy. I don't know if it's a Sulphur Southern policy. I don't know. But anyways, they stopped working. So I was wondering why no work was going on. So I hung out down there. Well, here we come the security people down, which they get called on me a lot. Tell me that they stopped working because they feared for my safety because I was down there. Now, I don't know what is so dangerous down there besides the chemicals coming out of the creek. I don't know if they're afraid I was going to get hit in the head with a stick. Something was going to come shooting out of the creek. I don't know, but that was the reason why they stopped working, is because I was down there and they feared for my safety. So to make a long story short, I was on property I was allowed to be on. Had to explain that multiple times. And finally, one of the workers ended up calling PD down there. They didn't speak with me. They spoke with one of the security guards, and I'll say there was nothing they could do about it because, I'm on private property, and you can dictate who's in your work area, but you can't dictate who is standing outside your work area filming what you're doing. And I try not to film the workers because they're just doing their job. The only thing I'm interested in is what is coming out of the creek and being sucked into containment. It's the only thing I'm worried about. So this just makes me mad because you want transparency, okay? How is this transparent when you stop work when a camera shows up? I go back to my vehicle to move to the other spot farther up. They start working. I get to the spot farther up. They quit working again, and then they pack up and call it a day. How's that being transparent? Me as a citizen, Norfolk Southern, you want transparency. Release all your contractor data. I can't go looking at no contractors' testing results. EPA did 25% of the test. So the other 75% was done by Norfolk Southern. I can't look at none of that testing results. Why? You want transparency. You want positive stuff. Release the testing results. Because they're the ones that took most of the tests in this creek. So I can't compare what results I have to what results that was taken in the same area they did, because they don't release their results. There's no transparency, none at all. And when you stop working, when I go down there, because I screwed you guys big time when I even brought it to your attention that you were having a major bypass issue, you were flooding the creek with chemicals, and you chose to put up a third dam and continue to let it go down. That's not my fault. Common sense would say, stop, because obviously isn't working. No, it took till the EPA seen my video, called them, and told them to stop work because they lost containment. So if you're so sure about your new containment system, why do you stop working when somebody shows up? You send security down, and they try that private property bull crap. You know, I don't even want to talk mean about the people, but one guy was a little bit aggressive, I would have to say. You know, he's like, oh, you have your mask because you walk up and down the creek and say, oh, it's not safe here. No, I have my mask because the creek, we have detected VOCs in the sediment of the creek, and I don't know about you, but I don't like walking around feeling high, nauseated, lightheaded, and, you know, that's why I carry my mask with me. I didn't even have it on. I just carry it with me just in case I need it. So if you have nothing to hide, and I think the real reason they don't want this filmed, because they don't want shown what is coming out of the sediment of the creek. They're not even touching the banks of the creek. They're just doing the main thing. One section they did dig out by the tracks. It was so bad that they actually had to excavate some of the bank up by the tracks out. So there's still exposure going on. Remember when Deborah Shore came to town and was like, well, the last truckload of dirt is going out and there's no more dirt? That was a fucking lie. They've been digging down the Ceram Fab, besides Ceram Fab, at a hot spot, shipping dirt considered hazmat out of the area. There was supposed to be at least 10 truckloads. They're doing these creeks. They're releasing VOCs. Because obviously, you know, we've detected some VOCs in the sediment. You ain't gonna find it in the water. They'll say the water's clean. There's nothing in the water, but it's the sediment. Okay, they're stirring the sediment up. A whole nother re-exposure is going on. I don't care how many Suma canisters you put out. I don't care how many little badges you put out. It does not catch every single direction the wind goes. It's physically impossible. Okay? And a Suma canister averages, you know, however long they have it up. 4 hours, 6 hours, 24 hours. So if you have a 4-hour section of high concentration and the next 20 hours are good, that 4-hour is going to get diluted down to make it look like it was pretty much nothing. You know, and my exposure and what they consider exposure is obviously two different things. I consider exposure as when you start to have side effects from something. Okay? Their exposure is when it gets almost life-threatening. It's got to be above a certain number before they, consider it high exposure. You'll hear them say it all the time. We found no contaminants of concern in levels of concern. We did find contaminants, but there was no levels in concern. And if you look at their levels, they're just freaking ridiculous to begin with. So for him to tell you that, it's safe, it's fine, plant your garden, eat your dioxins that are in the soil, because it's all a big lie. And it seems, and this is what's kind of transitioned like totally out of this, but if you lasted this long, why does it seem like certain people in the village are benefiting from this derailment more than others? We got the city dabbling in real estate. We have a new dumpster service. We have somebody that's been appointed to a emergency management role. When I do remember him quoting, "I am just a firefighter, I put out fires," and has yet to come out and speak out against the information that was withheld purposely from him that would have really affected the decision to burn the 5 cars. And then we get this, all of a sudden, we get this promotion from DeWine, but DeWine doesn't want to press charges. You know why? Because I think DeWine knows more than what he's saying. You press charges on somebody, they're going to start talking. When they start talking, you might implicate yourself. That's why he's not pressing charges. He knows more. This is a main corridor from Indiana to the coast. They couldn't afford to have it down. I don't have the article up. There's an article wrote that how much trouble they had to go through to reroute the trains so that couldn't come through this corridor. We know the reason why they were burned. But certain people are making out better than other people are. And it's very suspicious to me. Very suspicious, I hope it's all in, let's say, all legal and everything. Personally, I don't have time to look into it, but, I know people who are looking into it, and I would really hate to see somebody's career ruined, especially because you contaminated at least 20 miles out with your cloud of unburnt, particulate matter, and that stuff has to land somewhere. It goes up, it's got to come down somewhere. So I'm still doing the creeks. I advise them that if they're gonna get called every time I'm down here, we're gonna have a lot of run-ins, because I am perfectly legal in what I am doing. They knew that. They had to take the walk of shame because there was nothing they can do. Now my question is, what is the contractor hiding that they don't want on camera? And I do believe it is what's actually coming out of the soil while they're aerating it. I know what I can get out with the shovel. I can only imagine what comes out when, you actually have pressure and it covers a bigger area. So I mean, that's your creek update. Everywhere I go, they want to call security on me, and it's pointless. And it's petty. I'll call it what it is petty. They're like, the workers don't want to be filmed. I do my best not to film the workers. They're just working. And, and a lot of them workers don't agree with the way this is going. Mark, a lot of your EPA people that work for the EPA don't agree with how this is going. I don't know who the fuck they are, but they like to talk. You know how many times they had to stop work down at when they were digging up the tracks for levels getting too high? I know of at least 20 on this would be one area over I couldn't give you a time period, where levels were exceeding the EPA levels, which they had to be high if they exceeded them levels. It's a show. It's all a show. People are benefiting from it more than others. Look at the fucking Community Improvement Committee. Look who's on it. Everybody that is kissing NS's butt is on that committee. It's disgusting. It's just like, as I said, a year ago, give it a while. Stuff's gonna start coming out, and boy, is it coming out. Wasn't a Briton said good things is happening in this city right now? You're damn right, because the fucking truth is starting to come out. That's the good stuff happening in this city. It's sick. They want transparency. They want positive, positive videos, but it's hard to make something positive when you freaking hide everything you do. It's just hard. So, there's your General Creek update. When I went down on the second site, like I said, they quit. Vac trucks left. I'm sure I'll get the same run in tomorrow. I don't know what the safety concern is. With me standing there, it's not a safety concern. It's because we don't want you to fucking see something because you got us in trouble last time. So that's why we stopped work. Well, you ain't gonna get much done with me standing down there, I'll tell you that. So, do whatever you want with that. But you don't intimidate me. I'm not intimidated by you guys. I'm not intimidated by your security. Remember the security guy that followed me from when we were down there, when the last truckload of contaminated dirt left the area? And, he followed me while I pulled over and made an after video. He was sitting in the parking lot. And then he followed me to the gas station. Same security company. You don't scare me. Your little threats of, you follow me around and stuff like that, it does not have one effect on me. Because you know why? I'm out here getting the truth. And if you're doing that, that means I'm doing something right to make whoever gives you orders worried. That's how I know I'm on the right track. Because if they're worried, then obviously there's something that they don't want seen. Well, you're going to have a lot of me when you're going down this creek, cleaning this creek out. I don't go away. I've been doing this since the night of the derailment. I've put my health on the line to cover all this, to get the truth out there. I'm not stopping now. You guys believe it's okay? Fine. I'd even like to sit down and have a conversation. I have conversations with people that think it's fine. You know, and my always thing is what makes you think it's fine? It's always the EPA said so. Well, what would I tell? What if I told you I have results that disputes the EPA results, showing everything it isn't fine, and not just me, all the independent testers that have come here and put their time into here to do this. So there's your creek update. There's more to come, believe me. I wasn't scared away in the beginning, and I'm not going to be scared away now. I cover all my tracks legally. You know, where I'm allowed to be, where I'm not allowed to be. And they know that. And that's what pisses them off. So, if you experience increased symptoms, you know, during nice days, like I said, they just excavated a hot zone by Ceram Fab. They're doing the creeks. We found VOCs in the sediment of the creeks. I gotta make that straight, because they'll be like, there's no VOCs in the water. Well, no shit, they all fucking evaporated. You ain't gonna get no VOCs unless you get it deep from the sediment. The sediment showed some VOCs. VOCs we know ain't good for you. SVOCs ain't good for you. So if you experience, you know, increased symptoms, they'll tell you everything's fine because the air monitoring said it's not picking anything up. Well, don't listen to them. Listen to your body, because your body is going to tell you more of what's going on than a little Suma canister or a little, you know, air badge or, you know, whatever they want to use. So just a heads up, especially as they get closer to town. It's and they're still not getting the sides either. But after they're done, there will be a walkthrough again, and to see if everything's got, and if it's not to what they want to get it to 0 to 1 sheen. They're focusing on the sheen because it's the only thing you can see. You know, they're supposed to test for chemicals, but it's more of the sheen because you can't really see the chemicals. You know, I was told you can see 30% of it down there is the sheen. It's the other 70% that you can't see is what is dangerous to you. So this stream will be re-evaluated by a group to see how clean it is. And if it's not clean enough, guess what? They're going to do it again. Is this going to take it out of the soil that's already been soaked through? No. That's a Band-Aid. This is a Band-Aid. But you know what? We're going to hold everybody accountable. All right, guys. I'm going to end this.